So Travis, I'm gonna blow your spot up real quick.
Go for it, man.
Before we hit record, you had glasses on, right?
I did.
Let me see.
Bro,
You guys see it? Come
come
on.
on, man. You know, I'm getting old now, bro.
Hey,
I can't
dude.
see.
Dude, every Superman has a Clark Kent, right?
That's right.
So it's okay, man. It's okay. I'll tell you what, dude. I've been trying to fight it forever. There have been times that I'm staring at a piece of paper or a screen, and like, I
Yeah,
swear to you, 5 minutes has gone by. I had no idea that I've been staring at the same like two, 3 words because I can't make it out.
bro. That's how I am, especially in the morning. Hold on for a second.
Yep.
Let's check it out real quick.
All right, check it out.
My clock it.
Bro, all day.
All day, son.
All
All day.
day, son, all day, all day. Ladies and gentlemen, today's an exciting day. I get to welcome back one of my best friends, Travis Johnson, Officer Travis Johnson. But today, I wanted to bring him back because holy hell, we just watched, in my opinion, probably one of the best UFC cards this past weekend in UFC 281, right?
That card was stacked, bro. It was awesome.
It was stacked. I was hearing the stats. It is the most first round KO from top to bottom card ever in UFC. I think with a total of 7 first round KOs or something like that.
That's insane. That is
Yeah,
so insane.
it's insane, dude. It's insane. We'll dive right into the main event in a few, but let's kind of go through some of your favorites. Let's start with the bummer one, Frankie Edgar for me,
Oh
right?
man.
Uh,
Oh,
you
Frankie. His family
Frankie,
was there.
his whole
You
kids
know.
is there. I don't know if people remember this, but MTV had a show, and I don't know if they still do. I don't watch freaking MTV anymore, but MTV has a show called True Life.
Right.
And what it does is, for those of you that are a little bit younger that don't the True Life series on MTV, they follow and document people that do basically unique things. And MTV True Life actually followed Frankie Edgar when he turned pro.
Did
And
it?
that
No
was
way.
like, yeah, you could probably find on YouTube. But yeah, Frankie, I believe he was True Life. And you know who MTV did another one on too was the brothers. What's their name? Pettis brothers as well too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I'm
All
not
right.
mistaken. But yeah, man, I remember Frankie when he turned pro and all the stuff. And now you fast forward 15, 16 years later, dude. You know they say the word legend a lot, but I think Frankie definitely earns it, dude. What do you think?
No, he's a true legend, bro. His fights with Gray Maynard, his fights with BJ Penn. I
Yep.
mean, and the guy was a little guy. He came to AKA way back before he came champion. Josh Thompson brought him over to
Oh
train
wow.
at AKA, and he's a little fella, bro. And for him to do what he did at 155
Yep.
in that weight class, it's amazing. And then also, he's a laid back kind of dude, super cool, man. The coolest guy you'll ever want to meet. Like a really, really great person. Very, very humble. I mean,
Yep.
he's an awesome guy. And to see him do what he did at 155 and get the championship the way he did, the guy's a warrior. He's a straight savage, man.
Dude,
Seriously.
if anybody wants to see what true grit and heart is, find the fight of him, Frankie Edgar, and Maynard one.
Yes.
How he survived that, dude, from a
Oh man.
savage like Gray Maynard, the powerhouse that Gray Maynard was.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but man, you want to talk about Rocky like story? That
Yeah.
boy right there. And like to Travis, what he was saying is, back in the day, Frankie, wasn't too big on dropping weight, so he was a little 155.
Yeah.
I remember I was torn, dude, when he won the 155 championship because he took it from BJ, and
Yeah.
BJ is one of my all-time favorite fighters too. So I was torn, but man, talk about heart. So Frankie, if you're listening somehow, this gets to you. I'm sure you hear it all the time, dude. You're a true legend, and welcome to the next phase of your life. But thank you, man. 15 years of just savagery. So anyway,
Yeah, and it was an awesome fight. No, Frankie, thank you for all the memories.
yep,
He went out, he got carried out on his shield, bro. He went like gladiator style. I mean, you know,
yeah,
and he's a blood and guts fighter, and
yep,
I mean, there's no other way for him to go out. I wish he would have had the win, but
yeah,
still, he holds his head. Frankie, hold your head up. You did great, man. It was an awesome
dude.
fight, and you went out like a warrior.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what do fighters do? They fight.
They
They
fight.
come in
That's it.
fighting, they go out fighting, dude. So anyway,
Exactly.
but talk about another savage dude. What do you think about the Chandler and Poirier fight?
Oh man, dude, that fight
Hey.
was crazy. That fight, you just knew that putting those two guys together, it was just
Yep.
going to be fireworks. There was bad blood. No one was going to take a back step forward. And you know what, Chandler? Sorry, my boy Josh Thompson. He's probably going to hear this, and I know he has bad blood with Chandler. I guess they're cool.
Yeah.
But bro, anytime Chandler fights, win, lose or draw, bro, I'm a huge fan. I'm gonna
Oh,
pay the
bro,
full price of admission when that guy fights.
dude, I was talking to my wife about it. And I told her this, and we can elaborate on strategy and what we think, as an observer,
Yeah,
and stuff as well too, as analysts or what have you. Not to call myself an analyst, but I'm just an enthusiast.
of course.
Chandler, like you said, I echo that. If he's on the card, I'm watching, dude.
I'm
I'm
watching.
watching. The question is, and what my belief is, if he continues to do this, he will always be a fan favorite. Because if you recall, and I have documented proof, when I got word that the UFC signed him, I text you and Captain. I said, dude, this is one of the freaking most exciting acquisitions the UFC have ever gotten. And
I
he's
agree.
going to pay dividends, and he has so far. What my belief is, though, in the tier and the level that the UFC is, you cannot be a slugfest artist and win a
No, you can't.
championship. Yeah,
No, you can't.
you can't.
I mean, he had the championship in his hand when he fought for the title.
Mm,
Um, and bro, his style, he has all the tools to be a UFC champion. Um, and he puts on exciting fights. The Gaethje fight
yep.
was exciting, but the UFC is going to take a look at it. He's 36 years old, and bro, you're losing the tip of the spear guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's my flip side of the argument. Yeah, you're exciting. You're very exciting. Your fighting style is fan friendly. Maybe not too smart at times.
Mm-hmm.
You keep losing to the tip of the spear guys. The UFC is going to start to like second guess their investment in him.
You think
But
so?
he's great.
No, he's great. I mean, I think he's right. I mean, he's proven right, especially with the Oliveira fight.
Yeah.
He's right there as far
Oh, he
as
is.
championship level. I believe it, but I think where his challenge is his just raw dogness in him, where once you get clipped, kind of things just goes out the window,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's either do or die. And he's been in the UFC 5 times now, I believe. And for those that haven't followed his career, they forget he is a high level nationally ranked collegiate wrestler, dude. His wrestling is up there with the tip of the spear, and all
Exactly.
he wants to do is slugfest.
Oh,
You know what I
because
mean?
that punching power, bro. I told you,
No,
it's a
it's
gift
true.
and a curse. When
It's
you
addicting,
know
huh?
you got power, it's a gift and a curse, man. It's a gift that you can get guys out of there, but then the
Right.
curse because you forget about everything else. And then we got to take our head off to Poirier.
Oh,
You know,
always.
him being the top guy. He's a sturdy dude. Like he could take a punch, take a shot. He'll wage war on whoever. He'll
Yeah.
fight whoever.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that's not to be taken lightly. And you got to look at his resume also about
Dude.
all the guys that he's beaten and the
Right.
guys that have beat him.
I,
So we got to give credit to Poirier as well.
oh, 100%. I think Poirier, if you just put it on paper, I think he's a more well-rounded fighter than Chandler. And I think they both obviously proven to be durable and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I think from a caliber of competition, I mean, you go down Poirier's freaking record, dude. It's the who's who at a buck 55 and a touch of 145 when he first started too, right?
exactly.
But man, the guy, and the thing is, every time he goes out and fights, I think he's getting better too. His boxing, I think, probably over the last 4 years, dude, is
Yeah,
is just leaps and bounds, in my
leaps
opinion.
and bounds. His fights with Connor. We can go on and on about all the people that he's defeated. I think the thing that separates Chandler and Poirier is the fight IQ.
Mm,
Poirier, he thinks a little bit better in there, whereas Chandler goes in there and believes in his power so much, his explosiveness. And whereas
yeah,
Poirier, he's a thinking man's fighter. He has the power. He knows he's durable. He's
yeah.
going to have a game plan to defeat his opponent. But Poirier is also not afraid to wage war. You hit him,
Oh, dude,
he's going to come back swinging too. You know,
100%, hundred
I
percent.
love about the guy.
Dustin Poirier, I'm gonna order some hot sauce. That's how much of a fan I am, and
That's
you
right, bro. He
you
has
you've
his own hot
you've
sauce.
earned it with that fight and many in your history books. So that was savage. Do you think he has another run at the title, Dustin,
I
at
believe so.
55?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, obviously his wins over Connor,
Mm-hmm.
defeating Chandler, that's gonna like kind of pull them up there. Already has wins over Gaethje. Um, he obviously lost to Oliveira for the title, but we got a new champion at 155, baby. We
Yep.
got Islam Makhachev, aka so
Yep.
and a team Eagle. So I gotta throw that in there. So yeah, I think Poirier's right up there.
Mm.
Who's he got to fight to get to the title? That's the next question. Who do
I
you think?
say, obviously not matchmaker, but I think Poirier probably needs a little bit more time off, especially through the holidays and stuff, because his fight was a little bit more of a war. But I
Yeah,
would like to see Poirier and Oliveira round two,
yeah,
and that'll be contendership number one, because right
yeah.
now they just announced um, Volkanovski and Mikachev, I'm sorry, and Islam are
That's right.
fighting.
That's right.
So, dude, on a side note, dude, going back the previous UFC, I knew Islam was savage, dude, but he
Yeah,
made it look somewhat easy, which is
he did
weird,
make it easy. Yeah,
right?
you know, all of the AKA guys, we all knew it was going to be an easy fight for him, just
Wow.
based on the styles and how great Islam is as a fighter. Um, I during my time with AK, I was already out, so I didn't really get to see his development. But I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of still in there when he arrived on scene, and the guy's a stud. The guy's a beast. You know,
Mm.
he's a beast. We all knew he was going to be champion. As soon as Habib gave up that throne, we knew that Islam was going to be the heir apparent and be the
Yeah.
next guy to get that throne. He's going to have that belt for a while. Is there going to be changing of titles at 155? Also, guy, we got to talk about Dariush, dude. What about
Oh,
Dariush?
dude.
He's a guy,
Remember when Dariush was fighting? I text you. I said, dude, this
yeah,
is a sleeper. No one's talking about this one, but this is a sleeper. And Dariush is, to me, is you throw him in that category with Chandler, you throw him in that category with Dustin, where, dude, the level of experience, the number of fights, I think he's on an either 8 or 9 win streak, and
yeah,
the guy is savage. He can stay in the pocket, he can knock you out, and don't sleep on his submission, dude. I think he used to compete in ADCC, so
yeah,
don't
he
sleep
did.
in
I heard that.
his submissions either. But he's just one of those guys that fly under the radar for most fans. I don't want to use the term casual because I think that's offensive. I think fans are fans, right?
Yeah,
But most fans, the general fans, because he's not outspoken, he's not. He's
yeah.
just. I go in, I do my job, and I earn my space. I think he's earned it, dude.
I
Up there
know
as well too.
he is up there, and I agree with you, and he should be up there. But you know, the 155 division has a lot of killers in there. You got all kinds of names: Oliveira, you got Gaethje,
Mhm.
Chandler, Poirier. You got all these killers up there, and Darius, like you said, he's a guy that's like flying underneath the radar, but he belongs up there with those guys.
Dude,
You
I
know?
truly believe Darius. It's like any given Sunday, right?
Yeah,
Any day, depending on how everyone performs, obviously, but in any day he could literally win the championship.
yeah,
I truly believe that. I truly
yeah.
believe that.
Very under. Well, not against Islam, but
Well,
yeah, against,
that's where I was
yeah,
gonna say. The caveat is you also have to fight the perfect fight too against Islam, because
yeah,
the mistake you make a mistake against Islam, and the price you pay is he grabs a hold of you, right?
yeah.
And very similar to what Khabib does is, like, once he grabs a hold of you, then it's basically you count down until it's game over.
Exactly.
And the addition to Islam is, I believe he's a way superior boxer compared to Habib, in my
Oh,
opinion.
yeah, very much so. Also maybe better at submissions. Also,
Yeah,
I got to give him that. You know,
yeah,
with the wrestling and the control and
yeah,
everything. The sambo.
yeah.
These
Maybe not.
Dagestani cats are no joke, bro.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, yeah. Maybe what Habib has is just that born, that engine. Once it's on, it's just he doesn't let you breathe. He's
Yeah,
just over you. Doesn't let you breathe. I think Islam's a little bit more methodical, but yeah, I mean, skill for skill. I mean, he obviously he's a champion for a reason. So,
yeah.
man, shout out to Volk, man. The balls, right?
Yep.
Good for him. Good for him. But it's that dare to be great. If you think about it, he's the one that's going up. He's the one that's challenging for the double champ. He's the one that's going up in weight class. He has nothing to lose. So the pressure really is on Islam.
Yeah, I guess so. But you know what does Floyd say? Easy work, son. I
Yeah,
think for Islam, this is gonna be an easy payday. I'm
yeah.
telling you.
I
Uh,
agree. I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think, like I said, I think for anyone to dethrone him, you have to put on that perfect fight. You
yeah,
can't make a mistake.
yeah.
You can't go kick crazy, because
No,
there's the takedown. You can't work on the clinch, the pummel too much, because that's what these guys live and breathe for. And
yeah.
again, going back to his distance game, his boxing ain't no joke, bro.
No, it's no joke.
I mean,
Yeah.
that submission started with I believe a left hook, right?
Mhm.
To Oliveira.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I'm excited about that. I think that's supposed to be slated for February, I think.
It's
So
gonna be a great fight.
it will be
Two
a great
champions
fight.
going. Anytime you got two champions going head up, it's gonna be an awesome fight. Either
Yeah.
way. Volk does have the advantage in hand speed.
Mhm.
He is the better striker. Um, rugby player coming down. How much did he weigh back in the day?
Oh, he broke two something. He was like a heavyweight, when he
Yeah,
played rugby. So
yeah. So
I don't
people
know.
can't make a big deal about the weight difference.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna surprise some people. I just don't think he's gonna win the fight, but it's gonna be an entertaining fight while it
yeah,
lasts.
yeah. I'm excited about it. I mean, like I said, the balls, right? So they're to be
Of
great.
course.
So I love that. You got to respect that. So 281, we covered. We touched on. Let me see. Obviously Frankie and his fight. I think Gutierrez was his opponent. Got a shout out to him because he won, obviously, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
They got
Chandler and Dustin. Um,
Wei Lee regaining the title.
yeah, I had like my heart was like, come on, Carla. I would love to have you stick it through because she was the OG and she's
Yeah.
been through some challenges.
Yeah, the first champion in that weight class.
Yeah, but Whaley is a different animal, dude.
She's a beast, son. She's a beast. Yeah, and then it's the style matchup.
Mhm.
It's like it's the triangle of these champions, these women fighter. Wei Lee beats Carla, Carla beats Thug Rose beats Wei Lee, and
Mhm.
you know how it goes. I mean, fight math. I mean, it doesn't always add up, but it seems like these girls have each other's numbers.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's next for Wei Lee. Carla was a great champion to regain the title, to have the title twice, hold it.
Yep.
But Wei Lee's a beast, like you were saying. She's incredible. She's an incredible athlete. She's a great fighter. She's a warrior. She trains really hard, and she's great for China. She's a great champion and representative of it. But I think it's like she was saying in her interview. She's not just loved by
Yeah, I remember
Chinese.
that.
She's loved by everybody, man. And her fighting style translates to all
Yeah.
cultures and races. She's awesome, man.
Well, I do like what Dana said, years ago, because they were talking about, his goal was to be the number one sport next to soccer. Soccer has been, for so long that it's hard to overcome soccer in terms of international interest.
Yeah,
But his whole thing is fighting is fighting. It's in our DNA. You don't really need
yeah,
to explain much. There's not a lot of rules. You just kind of
for
figure
sure.
some basic understanding. And even if you don't understand it, dude, when people are throwing hands, you hardwire wise understand
Oh
what's
yeah,
going on, right?
oh yeah.
Someone kicks someone in the
Oh,
head. Obviously, the intricacies and the nuances of jujitsu is different. That's a skill and that's an understanding that you have to learn. But
right.
when you see two dudes, two gals just standing in the pocket and swinging, you don't need a lot of explanation.
Oh, bro.
It's like
Yeah,
whoever goes down first loses, whoever stays standing wins, right?
there you go. It's that simple, right?
It is that simple. It is that simple, man. So it is fun. It's crazy because every time you go, wow, who's the next star? Who's the next whatever? Dude, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for what the UFC has from a roster standpoint, dude.
Yeah.
They're legitimately cranking out people. But yeah, shout out to the women carrying the torch. Man, Wei Lee's gonna be hard to beat. I'm curious to see if that theory, because I do believe it, that theory of having someone's number holds true if her and Rose meets again.
So yeah. So what's your take on that? Because you know how we're always texting each other
Yeah, dude.
about takes. I mean, let's say they fight again for a third time. How do you think it's gonna go?
I don't know, man. It's weird, right? It's like there is in fighting, there is in competition in general, there is this cosmic weird thing that you can't explain. It's like you can beat everybody in the world, but somebody just has
Somebody
your
almost has
number.
your number.
It's like it's weird, dude. It's like the person you destroy can go out to be a world beater, and then the person that isn't even in your league on paper somehow
On
just pulls
paper.
it off always.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
How
mean,
much do
look
you
at
think of that
Amanda
is mind
Nunes.
is mental?
Look at how Amanda Nunes and
Mm,
what's her name? The Venezuela vixen.
yeah.
On paper, bro. Come on, she's not on in Amanda Nunes. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
She got the belt. She won. Yeah, Amanda avenged that loss, but still,
But dude, it wasn't a cakewalk.
no, it wasn't. Yeah,
No, yeah,
exactly,
it wasn't a
exactly.
cakewalk. It wasn't like her. No offense to Megan Anderson, but man, she ran through her like she didn't even want to fight that day. If you
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, like it's weird, right? It's weird, and you can date it back to like Chuck and Tito. And by the way, for the fans out there, I don't count the last fight with Chuck and Tito.
No, I don't
It's
count it,
it's
bro.
yeah.
Yeah,
When
just throw
these
that
guys
one
were
out.
at their prime, you can
Yeah,
tell Chuck just had Tito's number. You know,
yeah.
so I do believe that it's weird, and I wonder what that is though. Is that a mental thing? Is that really something tangible that is just out there in the universe, or what,
So
man?
there's a part of it, and when we talk about the main event, I'll go into it from a fighter's perspective, what a fighter thinks about when you fight
Mhm.
somebody that's defeated you. But sticking with Wei Lee, so Wei Lee's training with Henry Cejudo, right? So
Yep.
she's getting the wrestling on point. Think that'll make a difference in the next Thug Rose fight, or does Thug Rose have her number? I mean,
Interesting.
we'll
Yeah.
see how that works out.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I don't think Rose is slated. I haven't seen anything with her timeline on it, but that'll be interesting to see too. Because right now Rose is up 2-0, right?
yes,
The head
yep,
kick, and then I believe the decision on the rematch.
decision,
So
yep.
that'll be interesting. Yeah. So let's roll right into it, dude. The main event,
Oh,
Izzy. uh,
Izzy.
yeah,
Oh
Alex
man.
and Izzy. Give me
Oh,
your take. Give me some of your thoughts. I know you and I were texting. We're like, dude, I'm
yeah.
screaming at the screen. I'm screaming at the screen. But go ahead, dude. Give me
All
some
right.
thoughts.
So honestly,
Mhm.
before the fight, everyone's like criticizing the fight. Oh, you know what? They fast tracked Pereira. You know, Izzy. You know, he needs somebody to challenge him. Um, Pereira maybe doesn't deserve to fight for the
Mhm.
UFC title. So the UFC fast tracked him. There's a great storyline
Yeah.
with the two times they fought in kickboxing. I believe it was Glory, right?
Yeah.
I
I
think he
think so.
beat Izzy on points and then knocked Izzy out in another fight.
Mhm.
So it's natural. It's a natural storyline to it. But a lot of people were saying, well, you know what? He's come to Izzy sport. Izzy's been fighting top of the spear guys, high level guys. Izzy should come out on top and win the fight. But bro, I'm telling you, when you fight someone that's beaten you twice and knocked you out,
Mhm.
it's a whole different thing. Granted, I do like how Izzy came into the fight very calm. He's very calm, and he's so one thing that I got to take away from the last fight, I guess Izzy, the fight that Izzy got knocked out. I watched the fight. Izzy was doing well. I think Izzy was winning that fight, and he
Mhm.
got caught in
Mhm.
the end, right? So in Izzy's mind, he's probably thinking, you know what? All I got to do is just fight my fight. I'm going to beat this guy. The bright lights, has he gone 25 minutes before? Um, the bright lights might get to him. But let me tell you this: the mindset of a fighter, bro. It's crazy because in my fight career, I fought 15 years pro, and guys that have beaten me, I've rematched them and won. But this is the mindset. If you fight a guy, he beats you, and you know that the reason why you lost was because of you. You cut corners in training. You didn't fight the
Mm.
right fight. You didn't do what you had to do. You can go into the rematch with some confidence, knowing that you know what, you can right this wrong. You can kind of like tweak this, tweak that, and then come out with a victory because you are the superior fighter, or at least in your mind, you think you're a superior fighter. That's how good fighters are able to come back. Or you just take the loss, put it behind you, and you know what? This is a brand new fight. Let's start all over. When a guy beats you twice by decision and then knocks you out, and you're at your best, that's when the question marks come out because you're like, oh, you know what? I fought
Mm.
this guy at my best, and he still beat me. I was doing a great job, and he still got me at the end. Those are the things that are going to play around in a fighter's head. You know, so there's that's the thing, the question marks that I have with Izzy. Then seeing the fight goes on. Izzy looks very, very calm and comfortable, and he wins the first round pretty decidedly, technically, right? Second round, he stuns. Actually, he ends the first round by stunning Pereira, right? Am
Mhm.
I right about
Yep.
that? He
Yep. Yep.
stuns him, yeah,
Yeah.
right at the end of the first round. Then Pereira starts to come on strong. In the second round, takes Izzy down at the end of the round, and then
Mhm.
Izzy starts to regain momentum in the third round. So I had it up like by the third round. I think I had 2-1. I mean, did you see it that way? The first
I
three
did.
rounds?
I did. I actually saw it by the fifth, going into fifth. I saw 3-1 Izzy.
Yeah, me too. Me
Mhm.
too. 3-1 Izzy. That's how I saw it. So that's how I tabbed it.
Yeah.
And then the final round, bro, Izzy's doing all right. Pereira's coming on strong. Because I watched the fight twice. Starts putting pressure on him. I'm actually shocked at Pereira's energy level because he had only been 3 rounds, 20, 25 minutes. That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Um, his energy level in the last round was pretty good. He was pressuring Izzy. Izzy was doing his thing. I thought
Mhm.
he had to fight in the bag like you. All he had to do is survive the last round. And he gets caught with a long right hand and then a left hook, like I think 3:10 into the fifth round, 3 minutes,
Yeah.
10 seconds in the
Yeah.
fifth
That short
round.
left hook is one that really hurt him.
Really
Yeah.
shook him up in the
Mhm.
uppercuts and everything like that. And then he knocks Izzy out. Let me ask you this. You think it was a good stoppage?
I was going to ask you that. You beat me to it. So there's a few philosophies, right? Uh, 3 more seconds, would it have changed the result? The
Yeah.
answer is, if you were a betting man, I would say probably not. I think Izzy was on his way out.
Yeah.
So you go, what's the ref's job? The ref's job is is to protect the fighters, et cetera, et cetera. However, at the end of the day, respectfully, and I'm sure all fighters will agree with me, fighters are a different breed, A, and B, they sign on the dotted line knowing what they signed up for. If you are a champion, I am pretty sure you would want, and I can't speak for Izzy, but I would assume or presume that you want to go out in your shield. Like, if I'm on my way down, let me fall, take this belt away from me. Don't stop me when I'm still, whether half conscious, three-fourths conscious, or quarter conscious. He was somewhat conscious enough to bob and weave and duck. Now,
Yes.
like I said, three seconds later, would the result be different? Probably not. You know, maybe one more clean shot, a knee, what have you, would have ended the night. But I think for a championship, especially at the caliber that Izzy is and at the caliber that the UFC is, I think both sides want it very definitive. You know
Yeah,
what I
man,
mean?
I agree. Yeah, you're 100% spot on. You're right. That, and I think all champions, all fighters believe in that. But also, the ref did do Izzy a favor. He did not let Izzy go out on his back. Didn't let Izzy get
Sure.
flatlined. Therefore, when Izzy goes into the rematch, because you know they're going to give a rematch, they have to
They have
against
to.
Tickets.
He's earned it. They have to.
Yeah, they have to. Izzy's going to think to himself, you know what? Hey, you know what? There wasn't any images of me laying on the ground, knocked
Mm,
out, flatlined, unconscious. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's you're right. All fighters want to go out on their shield, but the ref did do Izzy a favor by stopping the way he did. Izzy was hurt. I think it was a great stoppage because, like you said, 3 seconds would yeah, he would have been out cold because Pereira's a great finisher and he has
Okay.
dynamite in his fist.
Well, let's put it in perspective. We were talking about and praising Frankie, and we told people to search and find Frankie Gray Maynard one. How many times should the ref probably should have stopped that fight? You
That's
know,
true.
to quote unquote save Frankie,
Yeah, you're right.
right? And they let
Yeah,
that sucker ran through, man. And then
yeah,
that started the course of Frankie being who he is, and became one of the best, MMA fighters, UFC champions ever had. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. Obviously,
yeah,
there are long term effects, and that you got to watch out for as a fighter, and as the ref's job to protect the fighter and have you.
yeah,
But
yeah.
in the moment, bro, it's like, you know, it's tough. The enthusiast in me, and not comparing myself to any of these guys, but having a competition background is kind of like, F it. We signed up for a certain thing. We're chasing a
Right.
certain goal. Let us go out the way we came in, which is fighting. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And,
So,
and and let me look at it from this standpoint too. The referee is in there, right?
mhm,
We're not. We're
good
we're
point.
we're watching. The ref
Hmm.
can see your eyes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Frankie Edgar, maybe he was getting dropped like crazy, but the ref probably saw that he still had that like life, that fight in his eyes. Whereas
Hmm.
maybe the ref on Izzy's fight saw that Izzy
Yeah.
was out of it, like not there.
True.
And that's where you got to stop the fight. If the fighter's not there, I don't care if they're
Yeah.
falling down 50 times, right? If they still have that fight in their eyes, yeah, we all the ref has to protect the fighter from himself from getting hurt. But if he still
Yeah.
has that fight in his eyes, you know what? I think let it go. But if the fighter has that glazed look,
Yeah.
they're off in outer space somewhere else, stop the fight. You know,
So,
you can't do
so,
it.
so you were screaming at the TV like I was. What were
Bro,
your thoughts going through?
I was going crazy. I was like, Izzy, Izzy. And I know Izzy's not a wrestler. I'm telling him, shoot in, shoot, shoot. And Izzy's not a wrestler. I don't even know if he can shoot.
Yeah.
Although he did have his
Yeah.
first takedown.
Yeah.
And get off the cage. I'm yelling out, get off the cage, hold on, just to get through the round because I mean, Pereira's a great finisher. I mean, that whole card I was screaming at the TV, bro. I was going
Hmm.
crazy. I mean, this is
Hmm.
why we love fighting.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so exciting, bro. I mean, it's not over till it's over.
Yeah.
Look at the Kamaru Usman fight. I mean, it's just not over till it's over.
Right. Yeah.
You watch these fights and oh, man, it's so awesome. That's why I love this sport, bro. I was so excited. I'm yelling at my TV. What other sport has you doing that, dude? Where you're
Oh
standing up, yelling at the
no.
TV, going crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
But here's the thing. I was screaming too, and through the whole process, I was asking and I was yelling at Izzy as if he could hear me. Why did you not take the Francis Ngannou route when he fought Sirigon?
so
Francis became a bona fide, just for that fight against a striker, a bona fide wrestler. Remember what I text you? I said
yeah,
Izzy has this fight if he doesn't forget that this is an MMA fight. If he goes out there with his ego and try to kickbox, dude, that 25 minutes is long because
You
he
did
can
text
win
me that, and
everything.
I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah,
Izzy strikes me as a guy that's very intelligent
right.
and innovative, very intelligent. You know, almost like
Agreed.
modern day Bruce Lee, right?
Mhm.
He's gonna like look for a weakness in a guy or find a way to win. So I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? He's gonna start. He's gonna do some takedowns. He's gonna wrestle. He's
Mhm.
gonna show some of his game that he hasn't been allowed to show, just to get the win and show this guy that hey, you're in my sport.
Mhm.
You're in my sport. But guess who was doing all the taking down? Beretta. Beretta
Yeah.
was here for singles, double. I know he trains with Glover Teixeira, going in for singles and went for a double. And then there's going back to your point, right? How Izzy could have probably won the fight. Do you remember? I forgot what round it was when I think it was round three when Izzy kind of he got the hooks in.
It
He
was
had
three.
Pereira down, got the
Mhm.
hooks in. If he had more knowledge of
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu or grappling, bro, he could have sunk in a choke. There's
There
so
was,
much that there's ways that he could have ended the fight, bro.
dude.
You know what I'm saying? He
Dude,
had good control on the ground.
I was losing my shit. If you rewatch the fight, it is round three, I believe. There was a
Yeah,
point where the transition happened, and he gets in Alex's guard. Okay,
right,
Alex had an pure open guard,
right.
not half guard, not butterfly, not
Yeah, yeah.
wrap. I was like, hop the fuck over the legs, smother the legs, step over. What are you doing? And
Yeah,
then he was trying to defend. He's trying to strike in an open guard. I'm like,
in
dude,
open guard.
it's a freebie. What are you doing?
Right.
And you know, and again, not to discredit any of these guys, the fact that I guarantee you, if Izzy goes out, he's just straight up grapples. He'll grapple and beat 99% of the population, right? But
Yeah,
when you're at this elite level, and you know that if you dedicate the next 3 months, whatever, and have an advantage, let's say all things, because here's the thing, striking wise, let's call it Izzy IQ slightly more, but
yes,
then Alex has more power. So now
yes.
you're 1-1.
That's
So
spot on.
what's the difference maker, right? What makes the
Yeah,
difference? The difference is you got to go out, like you said, with a different strategy, even if it's nothing else than to just keep him guessing, right? But
right.
when he was trying to do, double leg, he tried to do high crotch, tried to do single leg. I was just like, holy shit! On this level, it looked very amateurish,
And you know what?
very
And
amateurish.
I know he trains. I know he
Right.
trains wrestling because he has takedown defense. I know he trains all of these things. I know he trains jujitsu. I know he trains wrestling. I don't know who's in his camp or who his coaches are. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
too familiar with that. But at this level, right? You know that the champion has knowledge of all of these things,
Mm-hmm.
and I should have been easy work for Izzy. Quote
Yep.
Floyd again. Should have been
Yep.
light work. Knowing that this guy who has heavy hands and he's beat me on the feet, and let me put my ego aside. Let me
Yep.
get the win real quick.
Yep.
Let me let this guy know he's not ready, and then let
Right.
me show the whole world some new wrinkles to my game. Like
Mm-hmm.
in Ngannou, you hit it. You hit that. I was very surprised by that fight when Ngannou
Yeah.
and Cyril. I was like, what the heck, you know?
Right.
But that's good strategy. The art of war. I mean, that's fight IQ.
Yep.
You know, and I thought Izzy was going to take a playbook out of that. Actually, you said that, and I was like, wow, it got me thinking. If Izzy, because Izzy's a smart guy, he's an
Mm-hmm.
innovative guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to come out with something that we haven't seen before, and he didn't do that.
Yep.
I think, like you said, I think his ego got in the way. I think because of the last fight, in his kickboxing match, he was winning the fight, got caught. Same thing happened this one. He was winning the kickboxing match. So on the feet, Izzy is the more technical fighter, but like you said, Alex is a heavier handed fighter. So when you got a guy with dynamite in your fist, you got to be cautious, man, because one mistake, that's going to be it.
Yep.
Or how about we make the fight easy? Let's take it to the mat. Let's tire him out. Let's wear him down.
Yeah.
Let's flip the guy, pound him out. How many times in his MMA career has he been on the ground?
Right. Right. I'm glad you brought that up, because here's a perfect example, and this is why he's a legend, like true legend. Is GSP, George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
I remember, because this stuck to me, when he fought BJ Penn.
Right.
BJ Penn at 170. BJ at his era, for those of you guys that date back, and I hate for people to reference BJ in the last like 5 fights, because if you're coming along, you have no idea, dude. Back in the day, BJ Penn was the fucking man. Fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. He went all the way to heavyweight, fought fucking Lyoto. He didn't give a fuck. And I remember Freddie,
the greatest fighter on the planet
dude,
during his prime.
100%. I remember Freddie Roach had an interview, and they asked him who the best pure boxer is in the UFC at that time. Yeah. He said BJ Penn. So where I'm going with this is GSP fought BJ Penn, and GSP smothered and wrestled the shit out of BJ Penn. And everyone's like, wow, what a great strategy. You know, you're trying to ground and pound him. You take him out of his element. You take him out of the boxing range and all that stuff. He goes, no, that's on the surface level, what people thought I was doing. What I was doing is I was punishing his shoulders and his arms. So
Wow.
by the time he got up, his
Yeah.
best weapon outside of his jiu-jitsu, his best
Right.
weapon is his knockout power and his boxing.
Knockout power,
And
punching
he
power.
said, my whole goal for the first round was tiring him out so that by the second, third round, he had no shoulders, no arms left. So now we can fight. So to your point, you know, you try to figure out how to make him the most uncomfortable, and you take him out of his element. And if
Right.
Izzy had, I mean, just in a parallel universe, imagine if Izzy came out round one and did a couple feints and boom, took him down and ground and pound him for the first 4.5 minutes, right? For the next 4.5 minutes, he would have gotten up exhausted, and then he would have gotten up going, "Oh shit, I thought this was going to be a kickboxing fight."
And he'd be afraid to throw. You know, when
Exactly.
strikers face guys with the threat of a takedown, they're not too quick to let their hands go.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And you know what? And again, dude, it's like, you know, Izzy's a smart guy. I think he had a solid game plan because, again, to play the devil's advocate and to be his defense is that he was winning the fight.
He was winning
He
the
was
fight.
winning the fight. But
all right, let me ask you this then: how does
Yeah.
it go in the rematch?
I think the rematch we'll see Izzy do what we're talking about. He's gonna change his game up. He's gonna mix it up more. He's gonna make him guess. He has to make him guess. And I would say, dude, Alex, is he not one of the just pure scariest dudes on the roster?
He is. That guy is huge, and he's like a Terminator. He's just
easily 205, bro. Easily 205.
Easily.
Dude, his bone structure is just his stature, but he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And he has that switch, dude. Like Izzy reminds me of Anderson in a lot of ways, where you walk and you go, okay, you are truly facing a samurai, you're facing a master, you're facing a technician, all that stuff. And there's a fear of just being embarrassed, right?
Yeah.
Or him outclassing you.
Yeah.
But you look at Alex and you go, oh, this is the Terminator.
Yeah.
It's like, I can do everything right, but this guy at any given point can lights out and truly hurt me.
He's coming to get you.
Yeah,
he's coming to get you.
Dude. Yeah. And if you guys can find this clip, it's easily found. But there was a press conference when Alec was fighting Sean Strickland, and Izzy was fighting, I forgot who he was fighting for his last defense. Anyway, Alex was sitting up on top. Izzy was in front because he's, you know, the main event. And there's a clip of Alex just straight staring at Izzy into the distance, just staring at Izzy. And the press conference is going in. You know,
I think he was going to fight Cannonier.
Yes, I think you're right. I think that's a Cannonier fight. And he just looked down at Izzy like, okay, all this stuff is white noise. I'll do what I got to do. But ultimately, this dude's my target. And he locked on literally, dude, like a machine. And it gave me fucking chills, bro.
I know. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's that guy, dude.
Like I said, the guy has dynamite in his fist. He looks the part. I don't know, man. My thing with this is a lot of times when a fighter beats you the first time, in their mind they think it's easier. But like I was talking about earlier, is the champion or the fighter that loses, if they know that it's something that they did wrong and not what their opponent did, whether you get knocked out or you lose by decision, you can right that wrong. You know, you can redeem yourself, get redemption. I just don't know. So the takeaway from this, though, Ferreira, who's the one that got the takedown? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Went for the takedown.
Yeah.
More training, you know, and then the confidence of knowing that you've knocked this guy out several times. You know, it's gonna be a tough fight. I think Izzy can do it. I think he can regain the title, but it's gonna be a tough fight, bro.
Yeah. Panetta, you know, has two opponents. He has Izzy, and he has the newfound pressure of being the champ.
Yeah.
Izzy has, I would say, multiple opponents. He has Alex that's in front of him. He has his head, the mind games that plays, right?
Yeah.
He has the crowd expectation because he's been great for so long.
Yeah.
And then he has the pressure of what's my legacy going to be about?
I was just about to say that, his legacy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one.
Because, dude, if he loses again, this is going to be 4, right?
Yeah.
It's like no matter what he does for the rest of his career, you talk about his fights, everyone will talk about 4 losses to Alex. Alex could lose for the rest of his career and never win another fight. He will forever be attached to Izzy if Izzy doesn't right that wrong. You know?
Right. Because look at DC and John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
As great as DC's career has been, he's had an awesome, amazing career.
100%.
How many times did he lose to John Jones?
Twice.
Twice? I thought it was 3.
No, twice.
Yeah, they fought 3 times, bro.
They did?
Yeah, the third time he got kicked.
First one was decision, and I thought the second one was a head kick. The head kick set up, and then the TKO. It was twice.
Look it up. I could have swore there was going to.
Yeah, because John was out. Remember, John's out for a while, and then DC went into a run at 205 as a champ.
Yeah.
Then went to double champ, beat Stipe, had those 2 fights with Stipe. You know, the rubber match with Stipe.
I think you might be right.
Yeah,
I could have thought. I know he lost the other one. I know he lost the decision. I know he got head kicked, and then I thought there was a third one. No, maybe I'm thinking about Stipe fight.
And to DC's credit, dude, in a universe where John Jones didn't exist, DC would be the best 205 ever.
I think so
Period.
too.
Hands down.
Yeah,
hands down. Because it was competitive. It was competitive. It's just that's another fucking guy, dude. It's like you take, you compartmentalize things. You take whatever you feel for him and his, his lifestyle and his life choices, what have you. But if you're talking about just pure MMA, for me, hands down, GOAT. There's nothing.
John Jones. Yeah.
From a technical standpoint, from an IQ standpoint, from a will to win.
Yeah.
We always talk about it. A great champion just finds a way to win. He just finds a way to win.
And you saw that in his fights with Gustafsson. Mm-hmm. This is why I say he's the GOAT. And take the PEDs out of it. I gotta look at the streak that he went through when John Jones was beating light heavyweight champions. Mm-hmm. Shogun, Machida, Rampage. Bro, he was just going through champions back to back like crazy, just running through people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Rashad.
Yep.
I mean, bro, you know what I'm saying? And then all of his title defenses,
right?
And the way he did it, and the first Gustafsson fight where he had to dig deep and fight for his title to,
he didn't even train for it. He said he was partying, coked out a month before.
Yeah.
Admit
exactly.
it, I mean,
savage. So everyone has in GSP, right? He's up there. He's on the Mount Rushmore, and everyone has their definitions of the GOAT because it's a mythical title, right? It's like
it is a mythical title.
It's a mythical title. Well, who's the pound for pound best right now? When everyone's saying, well, right? Well, who's the greatest of all time, and what's your criteria? Is it like length of title defenses? For me, it's not only that, the longevity of your title defenses, but it's also who you beat, bro.
Beat. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Who you beat. That's why I say Muhammad Ali in boxing to me is one of the greatest of all time. It's because he killed a murderer's role of opponents and foes, Yeah. And that to me is the GOAT, And we can go on tangents about is Floyd the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? Who isn't? But for me, it's the length of your reign as champion, and also it's who you beat. That's how far ahead of you, skill wise and ability wise, from everyone else. Yeah. That determines who the greatest of all time is. Yeah. You want to say GSP, because he has a resume also.
100%. Well, you look at him and Jones and GSP have very similar record, similar track in a sense where once they got the title, because I think John Jones was Stephan Bonner, and then Matt Hamill, where it was his technical loss because DQ, which is a BS loss, that should be erased. I think everyone in the MMA community agrees with that. And then I know he fought who's that light heavyweight that went to heavy? He fights at 1 now, tall dude, Brandon Vera. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about
that. And then he slid in and choked the shit out of Shogun, I believe, for the title, right? Or was it Machida? I forgot who won it
first, I think.
Yeah. So either way, once he crossed that, I got the belt. All his fights are title defenses that he won. You know what I mean? Yep. So it's like, he cleaned up the division. It's like it's very rare to see people. And Usman was on that track. Usman was lapping, right? And then he got caught, dude.
Yeah.
But Jones at heavyweight's gonna be interesting. But I mean, if you talking about pure achievement, for me, pure achievement, that's one category, right?
Yeah.
IQ, that's another. Pure, and then also talent. I mean, he has all 3 things, bro.
Who's your Mount Rushmore of greatest fighters of all time?
Dude, my Mount Rushmore needs to be like 20 people deep, dude, because for different reasons, right? For different reasons. Yeah. So if you talk about
I'll give you 5. Mount Rushmore is 4, right? Isn't there? There's 4
on the 5. I'll give you 5. I think 4. But you give me 5 because
we're gonna go 5.
My history teacher is gonna Spank
I
me.
know. I think it's 4.
Yeah.
I'll give you 5.
All right.
Who are the 5 greatest fighters of all time to ever
All
do
right.
it?
All right. It has to be John Jones, number one.
Yeah.
It has to be. It's like you can say whatever you want to say. He can be whatever. You don't have to hang out with him, but he is because he checks all the lists for me, right?
Yeah.
His credentials, I don't think it's comparable. His reign, his IQ, his talent, and then
Yeah.
that just will to freaking win,
Will
right?
to win.
It's for me, John Jones.
Yeah.
Next is probably technically in modern era will be the least, but I have to put him out there because he started it all, which is Hoist Gracie.
Oh yeah, he has to be on there.
Yeah, he has to be
He
there,
has
and
to be
he's
on
my
there.
number 2 just because it's part
Yeah.
of history, right?
He has to be on there.
So for him, it's self-explanatory. The UFC is his house,
Yeah.
right? It's the house he built.
Exactly.
Next to that, I would probably say Anderson.
Yeah.
You know, cleaned out the division, bounced around at 205. And Anderson, when he is Anderson, it's like watching the Matrix for real.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's 3 so far. I would put
Got 2 more.
I would put BJ Penn on there.
Yeah.
Because BJ Penn, so for me is Hoist came in and started it all, and the whole idea was we'll take on all comers. But the reality is, and this is no offense to Hoist, the reality is the all comers were guys, hanging out at the bar and said, "Oh, I train Taekwondo. What? You're gonna give me 50 grand? Yeah, I'll give it a shot." Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Yep.
These are the guys that he was beating, but he's important because it's the house he built. BJ Penn was the guy that took on all comers, all size, all weight classes in the first wave of the modern era of MMA.
Right.
And he's a small guy, and he went up and fought Lyoto at heavyweight. I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, beat Penzo, just et cetera, et cetera.
First 2 division champion.
Right? And then so who do I have? I have Jones, Hoist, Anderson, BJ for that reason. Oh, number 5. I can't.
Number 5.
I don't want to give it away too easily, dude. Oh, I know why. Okay. No. Give me 6. Give me 6.
6, bro. Come on.
Give me 6 because I'll tell you why.
All right. Okay. I'll give you 6. I'll give you 6.
Rhonda, because without her, these women would not be making the type of fame and celebrityness that they are, right? I think there's only one top outside of the UFC. There's really one top earner in MMA that is a female, and that's Kayla Harrison, because she wins the tournament, and the tournament is 1 million, right? $1 million. And really, there's no one's going to beat her. And again, it sucks to say this, but unless you cross over to the threshold of the UFC, that glory, man, that prestige, that solidifies you as the world champion is tough to carry, right?
Yeah.
So no offense to her, but she's a badass. She'll throw me and choke me, but that's just the reality, right? You got to put Ronda there.
So you put her up there for
her contribution, dude.
Yeah.
Her contribution. Her contribution. You got little girls that play volleyball and soccer and going, whoa, maybe I could be an MMA person. And what she's did, that's just for females, but the transcendent of her fame and all that stuff. So Ronda has to be there, dude. There will be no women's division without Ronda. Right? So all these women that hate her and all this stuff talk shit, it's like, bro, it's like you wouldn't even have a job, to be honest, right? That's just
we all really know who kind of put women's fighting on the map. What's my girl, the kickboxer? She's Gina? Doing all the movies. Yep.
Bro, but you're talking
not on the level of Ronda. No, I get it. I get it.
The only reason why I'm correcting you is because you're assuming everyone are enthusiasts like you and I. I'm talking about the grandma. I'm talking about the auntie at the barbecue. I'm talking about people that just like I said, a junior high school girl that's playing soccer going, oh, I gotta get home because I gotta watch Ronda fight. You know that thing.
And you're right, and also commanding the type of pay that women command in boxing.
Yeah,
don't get paid like that.
Dude, at one point she was the highest paid fighter because of her royalties of pay-per-view. She said, and then last but not least, dude, again, you can't. It's tough because you can't judge a champion and his legacy to the end of his career because that's not fair.
Yeah.
But how do you leave McGregor out for what he's done to the sport, dude? Because here's what I say. How about this? I remember watching the Fertitas when they own it.
Yeah.
And they said Lorenzo said My dream is to one day be able to pay a UFC fighter a cool $1 million purse, right?
Right.
And there's been pockets of that, but
Yeah.
now with Conor, his celebrity, and what he's done to the sport mainstream, I think that $1 million paydays are more consistent than you think.
No, it is.
You
He
know,
put the sport on his shoulders.
dude. Here's the stats for Conor. Forget the championship stuff. When they sold for $4 billion, right? Conor that year was a $400 million revenue for them by himself
Wow. By himself. That's
in
crazy.
3 or 4 pay-per-views. So you're
That's
10% of the company, one guy in a roster of 600 people or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And guys, fact check me if I'm wrong, but this is what I believe I read, right? So you have to put him up there, at least in my opinion. So
So
anyway, what
no,
about you?
I can't argue that, bro. Because so you're basing your Mount Rushmore over the impact of the sport, which I
Yeah,
guess it should be that,
yeah,
right?
I
That's
believe
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. I can't argue that. I can't argue that with Connor because at first I was like, wait a second, he hasn't defended his titles as much as he should. He did
Yep.
climb divisions. He did fight great fighters, but yeah, his impact to the sport and what he's done moving it forward, that does get him up there. You know.
I do you
Also,
can't.
his crossover fight with Floyd, something that
Mhm.
we've never seen before. You
Dude,
know,
Connor today, once you work out the logistics, and if Dana announces the next Connor fight, non-title, just a fight,
yeah.
will sell more pay-per-views than the highest non-Connor title fight.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
whatever
It's
the
really
highest
smash it.
the title fight this year has been, Connor will
Yeah,
smash it.
yeah.
So
Oh, I agree.
from a just a a bringing the game up to the next level type of deal is that personality wise is definitely Connor. But don't forget, it only worked because he was dropping fools with his left in
Of
the early
course,
stages of his career.
and making predictions. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
what's your
And
top five? I'll give you six as well.
that's a good one, man. I got to give it to you. So my Mount Rushmore is going to go obviously John Jones. To me, he's the
Mm-hmm.
greatest fighter of all time. Take out, like you said, what he's done outside of the cage. The PEDs, yeah, it gives you something, but it doesn't increase your ability or your
Mm-hmm.
talent level. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
your IQ.
Or your IQ, right? So I got John Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I got to put GSP.
Okay.
You know, if there was no John Jones, he would be my pound for pound great because of the things that he's accomplished, how he handles himself, how he's been a great ambassador to the sport, how he's taken all challenges, and he has like just unparalleled fight IQ. I mean, obviously John Jones rivals it, and he's just a great fighter. You know, he's taken on all challenges and beaten legends, Matt Hughes, BJ Penn. I mean, he's a great fighter. So that's two. Number three, um, actually, I got to go with you. I'm going to swap Hoist and GSP. I'm going to put Hoist as my number two because there wouldn't be obviously a UFC without the Gracie family,
Mm-hmm.
without his brother. But it's him. He's the fight guy that got into the cage and revolutionized the sport, revolutionized martial arts as a
Yep.
whole. You know,
Yep.
he's like Bruce Lee level to me. You know, he's iconic. You know, jujitsu. I mean, it's a martial art that really works.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And he was true to his martial arts. And UFC one, we had like karate masters, kung fu, ninjutsu masters. And then what did it looked like a street fight? The technique
Yeah.
went out the window, bro.
Yep. Yep.
But Hoist, he demonstrated that his martial art does work. So I got John Jones, I got Hoist, I got GSP. My number four is BJ Penn. So right now we're on the same page. I
All
got
right.
BJ Penn, dude. He's another iconic name, going up all the weight classes, all the way up to heavyweight. His fearlessness, his ability to fight anybody at any time, becoming the first two division champion. Yeah, he beat Randy Couture to it, didn't he?
I think Randy did it. Randy did it too. I don't know
At
who did it
finishers?
first. I think Randy did it first. Yeah, heavyweight and then light heavyweight.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
yeah. Because BJ is 170 when he took it from Matt Hughes, and then when he came back and reinvented himself, he was 155.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to BJ. And also, BJ is an AKA alum. So,
Yeah.
I'm a homer. So he started out with eight. People don't know that. He was with us first during his first fights in the UFC. And he's a great guy. Um, so BJ Penn, that's four, right?
That's four.
My number five. I gotta, you know what? So my 5 and 6 is gonna be sketchy.
Okay.
Five, I gotta put Anderson Silva up there for his dominance.
Right.
I gotta put him up there for his dominance. Bro, let me scratch that. I'm gonna go. My number 5 is gonna go Habib.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Habib. As much
Okay.
as I love Anderson, I'm gonna go with Habib because of his dominance, how he just cleaned out his division, took on all comers, and no one stood a chance against him.
True.
The reason why I put him over Anderson is because when I look at Anderson's opponents that he beat, as dominant as he was, his division was kind of weak at the time. There wasn't like that much strong competition. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
think Habib's division very comparable to Anderson's, but the competition was a little bit stronger. You know, with Connor Gaethje, running around in there. But I'm gonna give the edge to Habib, and then my last one, I want to give it to Amanda Nunes, but you know what, bro? You talked me into Ronda Rousey
I
because of her
no.
impact on the sport. I have to,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
She has to be on the Mount Rushmore. You
Yeah.
know?
It goes. I agree with you. It goes without saying. Amanda is an all-star, is a savage, is a Hall of Famer, double champ. Um, Achievement wise in MMA, she has well surpassed Ronda,
Yeah.
right? But she would not have this large of a platform if it wasn't for Ronda, right?
No, you're right. That's why I got to put Ronda on the
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore. Now, if we have a top, we start talking about the greatest women of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to put Amanda at the top because
If you're doing this, if we redo our list, right? We did it just pure fighting and
yeah,
pure fighting, then yeah, the list would be very different. Like, I
yeah,
mean, pure fighting, respectfully, Hoist wouldn't even be on the list, bro.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
or divisions
Yeah, or
Who's the
divisions.
greatest
Yeah, yeah,
155 pounder? Who's the
yeah.
greatest heavyweight of all time? Who's the greatest light heavyweight of all time? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
So
So no, yeah, that's why it's fun to talk about it, but it's really hard to ever solidify what GOAT really is. I mean, these guys are just great champions. And I think, dude, it's crazy. It does keep getting better. Dude, the last fight, I don't know about you, but I rarely go to fight things like fight parties or watch at the bar or stuff.
yeah,
I usually, before my parents moved here, I watch fights by myself because I want
me
to just
too.
enjoy it. I want to hear the commentary. I want
I
to kind
still
of
do
go through
that.
the process, kind of see what I see compared to what's happening, this and that, because it's fun for me, right? I don't watch any other
Right,
sport.
right.
But now I got my pop since he's moved here. They retired. He fucking loves the UFC, dude.
Does he?
He loves the
That's
UFC, and
awesome.
he's only been introduced to it like 2 years ago. And my
Yeah,
mom is starting to love the UFC.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we order a pizza, we get some wings or
That's
whatever,
awesome.
and we watch, dude. So
That's
so there you
awesome,
go,
bro.
man.
That's
Like going
awesome.
back to what Dana said, comes full circle, bro. Is fighting is a language where everyone kind of just knows. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I think the UFC does a great job of marketing their product, their
Yeah.
marketing
Yeah.
fighters. I think that's why boxing is dying out. In boxing, I'm a boxing guy, bro. I'm a boxing
Of course.
historian. I love boxing. I know everything about boxing, and I still love boxing. Boxing is one of my favorite sports, but it's taken a backseat to MMA, the UFC, because they're not marketing their champions. In
Yeah.
boxing, the champions don't fight each other. The best fighters don't fight each other. The champions don't fight each other. UFC, the best fight the best. The
And
champions
then
fight champions.
they don't build the sport, dude. Like you remember, I'm sure you and I remember in the '90s and stuff growing up. Remember Friday nights USA Channel boxing?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
you would have
Pretty much all
amateurs
the time.
box every weekend. You get to know people and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
it's like, dude, the undercards. Like I can't name you an undercard boxer. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's tough. It's tough. So it's like I do like the fact that shoot, we can talk about like the Dana White Contender Series,
yeah.
dude. I mean, that's where guys like Sugar Shane, Sean Sugar Shane came from and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And guys are popping out and left and right. So I appreciate that. And I think that's what's exciting is you see kind of like, as these champions kind of retire and you guys like Frankie kind of,
Yeah, the new guys
retire and
coming.
stuff. You keep seeing these crop of guys come up and it's crazy. It's
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
dude.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoy it, dude. But hey man, we should make this a regular thing. I think it's easy talk. It's something we're passionate about. So I'll hit you up for that. But I kind of want
Definitely.
to wrap up with giving you a little bit of time in the MMA community. If you're an MMA fan, you gotta love this guy. But the MMA community and fighting community lost a cool ass dude in Anthony Rumble Johnson over the weekend, and I know you knew him and stuff like that. So yeah, man, talk about him.
Wow. I was shocked to hear that he passed. I know he was going through some things. I think he was with Bellator, and they were keeping it hush hush. He had to pull out of their light heavyweight tournament
Mm.
because of disclosed illness that he had, and they're keeping it hush hush about it. And then I heard that he was recovering, and I believe he was in talks with the UFC to make a comeback to the UFC for like a boatload of money, you
Mm.
know. But and let me go into my friendship with Rumble Johnson. He's a great dude. I met him through my other buddy Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson is one of the fighters for AKA and one of my best friends. And he brought Rumble to AKA to train with us. At the time, AK Rumble didn't have a management company, and I think this is how the story went. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know if most of you guys know it or not, but I'm one of the founding members of the American Kickboxing Academy. I was there when it was a kickboxing gym. I wasn't so much a big part of the whole MMA part of it, but I was training with those guys. Anyways, Rumble came to our gym to train way back in the day. This is before, I think he was maybe 3 fights into his UFC career,
Hmm.
and he's looking for a management company. And Josh brought him over, and he trained with the guys. And I think he wanted to get managed by Zinkin Entertainment. The Zinkin brothers, they manage a lot of the AK fighters, and they didn't have any room for him because at the time we had already had 3 top 170 pounders, welterweights in our gym. We had John Fitch, Josh Koscheck, and Mike Swick. So they're like, oh man, we can't have any more 170s. We already have 3 world rated 170s.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he went with another management company, and his career took off. But, anyways, I met him through Josh, and we hung out. I think we hung out at one of my birthday parties. Went to a Warriors game, had a booth, and hung out. And I got to know him, and he would come over to the fights at the house and stuff. And his last name is Johnson, like mine, so we would tell everybody that we were cousins. And I love watching the guy fight, and
Yeah.
he's such a humble guy, such a really cool guy. And then we lost touch for a little bit, and then went over to Kung Lee's gym to help Kung Lee out with one of his fights. I was doing some sparring with Kung Lee when Kung Lee was in the UFC. I don't know if it was for his Vanderlei Silva fight, but AJ was there, and AJ was there. So it was AJ and myself giving Kung Lee rounds and stuff like that, right? So it was cool. I have this story about AJ. So Kung's done with his rounds, right? And then AJ's like, "Hey man, do you want to spar?" And I had seen this guy flatlining people in the UFC, and I was like, you know what? And I had been out of the game. I hadn't been fighting or anything like that. I wasn't in great cardio shape. So I'm like, you know what? I can't say no to a challenge. So, let's
Yeah.
go in there and spar. And so I told him, I said, hey, man, I got more knockouts on my record than you got fights. He laughed it off. He's like, yeah, but I'm currently knocking people out now. And
Right.
we're joking about it. So we put our mouthpiece in, the bell rings, and we're sparring. And he's very respectful, super respectful. We weren't trying to take each other's heads out. All of a sudden, I think I landed a shot on him, and he nods his head, and I say, "Oh, okay, here we go." So it's starting to
Yeah.
get amped up, bro. This guy, his power. This guy hit me with a shot I didn't see, and it's like a scene from that Spider-Man Doctor Strange movie. This guy hit me so hard that I felt like my spirit fly out of my body and then fly back in,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I shook my head, and I'm like, he stopped real quick. He said, "Hey, man, you all right?" I said, "Yeah, bro, I didn't go down, right?" He's like, "You wobbled a little bit." I said, "No, man, I didn't wobble a little bit." Anyways, Kung's like, "Bro, you wobbled." So, anyways, this guy, I swear, it felt like someone swung a baseball bat, literally swung a baseball bat. This is how hard the guy hit.
Yeah.
I've never been hit like that by anybody, but it was just crazy. It was a testament to his abilities. We are talking about UFC champions. If there was no DC or no John Jones, he would be the light heavyweight champion
Yep.
in the UFC. Yeah, he had problems with the weight at 170 and all that, but he was just such a great guy. He's from Georgia, Southern brother, and just a very respectful human being, very humble human being. And I'm trying to hold it together because he was like a good friend.
Yeah.
He would always ask people about me. He was on Josh's podcast, Sammy and the Punk, on one of the episodes, and he's asking Josh, "Hey man, how's Johnson? How's Travis doing?" Blah blah blah. He always, and then he talked to one of my buddies that worked for Bellator, Anthony Gooch. "Hey, give Travis my number. Tell him to call me. I haven't talked to him in a while." And you know me, bro. I'm the worst at keeping in touch with people.
Sure.
So I feel really bad because he reached out. This was probably about maybe what 5 months ago, 6 months
Wow.
ago. So I just have great memories of his smile and how cool he was, and just such a laid back guy and such a humble guy and a great fighter, man. And I'm gonna miss him, bro. I was shocked to see that he had passed away.
Yeah, man, definitely a loss. Obviously, I didn't know him personally, but through every interaction, through what people say about him and stuff like that, is kind of echo what you're saying. It's just for a guy that's just so freaking vicious with his power in the cage, he couldn't have been a nicer human being. And I think really you find a lot of that with fighters in general because they have
Yeah,
nothing to prove. This
very
is at
true.
the end of the day competition, and
Yeah,
life is bigger than competition. And kind of if there's anything, any message that people get, they're listening to this regarding the passing of Rumble is tomorrow is never promised. You got to go out there and live your life. Life is meant to be lived. It's a participation sport. It's not a spectator sport. um and go out there and fail and keep falling until you stop falling. That dare to be great, whatever that version is for you, man. So
right.
I think in his honor, we leave it at that, dude. As always, brother, I love you. I'm glad you and I are able to do stuff like this. Let's definitely do it more often, man. Your time is always fun. But on to the next one, man. So shout out to the great Rumble Johnson. Our thoughts with you, brother. And thank you for all the fights, and thank you for living a life well lived.
Rest in peace, cousin. You will be missed. I love you, man, and I'll see you soon. Not soon, but I'll see you one day up in the sky. So rest in peace. I love you, man.
All right, brother. Well, I love you, man. Let's do this again. That was a
I
great
love you too,
talk.
brother.
Uh, I think we're gonna dance around the Mount Rushmore a little bit longer too, though. I think it's just ever changing, ever evolving, dude. But
Ever changing, ever
yep.
changing.
Until the next one, man. Send the family my love. I will chat with you later.
All right, man. Have a good day, brother.